Greetings and welcome to another video. If you've ever walked into a Second Life sim and felt invisible, ignored, or instantly shut out, it wasn't your fault. It wasn't your timing. It wasn't your personality. It was the social structure of Second Life, and nobody ever explains how it actually works. Until now. Second Life has its own hidden rules, not the rules in the note cards. We know that most people do not read note cards about anything. I mean the real unspoken rules, the ones that decide who gets noticed, who gets ignored, who gets welcomed, and who gets quietly pushed out. And once you understand those rules, everything about Second Life suddenly makes sense. Because SL doesn't run on friendliness or openness or community. It runs on 7 social forces that shape every interaction you have on the grid, whether you've been here a week or decades. The social structure of Second Life. Second Life has a social structure that does not exist anywhere else. Not in the physical world, not in games, not in MMOs, not in VR. It is a hybrid system built out of 7 forces that collide in ways most people don't recognize. And once you understand these forces, you will stop blaming yourself for things that were never about you. I call them forces because they push Second Life social behavior in predictable directions. And over time, those predictable directions become predictable patterns. Number 1, selective attention. Who gets noticed? Who gets ignored? Selective attention is when people only notice the people they already care about, or the ones they're strategically sucking up to, and mentally filter out everyone else. You walk into a sim where local chat is active, people are talking, laughing, responding instantly to each other. It looks friendly and open. You join the conversation politely and on topic. And what happens? Nothing. No response, no acknowledgement. But the clique never misses each other's messages. They respond instantly to insiders and filter out everyone else. That's selective attention. Number 2, in-group bias. Insiders get priority. In-group bias is when a group automatically favors its own members, even when someone new shares the same interest and enthusiasm. You join a group based on something you genuinely care about. You're friendly, you participate, you share your knowledge respectfully. And what happens? You get ignored. Or someone reacts negatively for no clear reason. Or one insecure person feels threatened by you. Then, after you leave, that person vents to the inner circle. They exaggerate, they frame you as a problem, and the group quietly labels you the one to avoid. This is also mean girl treatment. This is in group bias. Number 3, social closure. Public space, private behavior. Social closure is when a group occupies a public space but behaves like it's private. You teleport into a sim that advertises itself as friendly, open, and welcoming to everyone. You try to join the conversation. And what happens? You get ignored. The group continues talking only to each other. You're treated like you don't belong. The environment is public, it's an open space, but the behavior itself is private. That is social closure. A sub behavior of social closure is social gatekeeping. Gatekeeping is the active version of closure. It's not you can't be here, it's you can be here, but you're not one of us. Closure is the wall Gatekeeping is the door that never opens. Number four, performative socializing. It looks open, but it isn't open. Oh, performative socializing is when people look social, they act social, and signal friendliness, but only inside their curated circle. You join a discussion in a sim. You contribute something meaningful. The group responds positively. Then a guy or a girl or a furry or who or whatever IMs you privately to say they agree with you, but they won't say it publicly. They validate you in private, but not in front of the group. And then they stop responding. They disappear. The moment evaporates. They wanted the interaction, but not the connection. They wanted the moment, not the responsibility. That's performative socializing, the soft, confusing version of exclusion that looks like acceptance until it suddenly isn't. And then you're left, well, what was that about? Well, what was the point of that? Did I say something wrong? They they just stopped talking to me. Why did they do that? But they gave me a compliment. But they just stopped talking to me. What? Number five, validation without connection. This is the emotional shortcut. Validation without connection is when someone wants the feeling of being validated without the effort of actually connecting. They want the praise, the attention, the emotional hit, but not the conversation, not the relationship, not the follow through. It's the thank you for noticing me. Please don't talk to me phenomenon. People who want validation but not the connection, they're the ones who want the validation without the effort of engagement because feeling validated means more to them than being authentic. Think about that. Think how messy and problematic that is. All that matters to them is being validated about anything. It could be the tiniest, most trivial thing, but all they want is that validation. Even if they have to lie about it, lie about something that happened just to get the validation, because that matters more than actually being authentic and being truthful. Number six, performance without responsibility. This is the appearance of participation. Performance without responsibility is when someone wants the look of being involved without the work of actually participating. They want the role, the status, the visibility, the social credit, but not the responsibility that comes with it. People who want the performance but not the responsibility are the ones who love the appearance of participation but not the reality of it. So these are the type that want all the glory but they don't put the guts in. Number seven, identity inflation. When the avatar becomes bigger than the person. Identity inflation is when someone's second life identity grows larger than their actual self behind the avatar. And they start performing the inflated version instead of being a person. You see it when someone enters a space acting like they're a pillar of the community, but no one actually knows who they are, or when someone insists that they're basically staff, but they don't help, don't show up, and they don't contribute. They just like the status of being adjacent to authority. Or when someone is warm and friendly and charismatic in public, but flat and distant or uninterested in private, because the public persona is the real performance and the private self has nothing behind it. Or when someone can only function socially if they have an audience, because without witnesses, the inflated identity collapses. Identity inflation is the gap between who they are and who they need to be seen as. So, with identity inflation, these are the people who need the identity to be bigger than they realistically are, because the performance that gets attention feels better to them than the actual truth. Performance that gets attention fulfills them more than their actual inner self. Think about that. That's a problem. There's a lot of that problem in Second Life. A lot. Now, all of these seven social forces create social dysfunctions. People who want to be seen but don't want to engage, the ones who want the spotlight, not the conversation. People who want attention but not the interaction. And sometimes that dysfunction shows up as love bombing, not the romantic kind, but the strategic kind. The kind where someone floods you with attention for 48 hours, not because they care, because they don't, but because they want access, validation, or proximity. It burns bright, but dies fast and leaves you wondering what the hell just happened. That's happened to me quite a few times. It's not good. I don't like it, but because it's happened so frequently, especially being an SL YouTuber, I know who is doing it and who isn't, and then I just cut them off quick. And it's something that I've always spoken about. If it doesn't make sense to you, then it it's a red flag. If knowing someone within the first 5 minutes and they tell you all these glorious things like, oh, you're wonderful, you're the best ever, I really admire you, I look up to you, you're perfect. And it's like, well, you haven't known me long enough to even see those qualities in me. You've only known me for like 5 minutes. That's where it doesn't match up. That's the problem. That's your red flag. But I digress. These aren't random quirks, they're the predictable outcomes of a system built on low accountability, high anonymity, and instant gratification. As we all know, there is no accountability in Second Life at all. There's no enforcement or reinforcement in Second Life at all. So once you see these patterns, once you understand the forces behind them, you stop taking any of it personally. You stop trying to decode every weird interaction. You stop assuming it's about you because it's not. It's the environment, it's the social incentives. And the moment you understand that, you can finally navigate Second Life with clarity instead of confusion. You stop blaming yourself for things that were never about you. You stop taking silence personally. You stop thinking you did something wrong. You stop assuming you're the problem. Because the truth is this: it makes it difficult to engage oneself into environments that do not know how to handle sanity, manners, or niceness because they are so used to dysfunction. And that's the part that nobody says out loud. But I just did. Most Second Life spaces aren't rejecting you, they're rejecting anything that doesn't match their dysfunction. And here's the thing: this is a type of dysfunction you should not want to be involved with or try to be like or even think it's cool. Because the reality is, it is not. It is a social dysfunction built on exclusivity, popularity, and clout and social ladder stepping. You don't need to contort yourself to fit into broken spaces. You don't need to mimic their behavior. You don't need to chase their approval. You deserve to be in environments that can actually handle normalcy, kindness, and genuine interaction. And once you understand how SL's social structure really works, you can finally stop trying to fit into dysfunctional spaces and start finding the ones that actually function. You don't have to adapt dysfunction. You just have to stop mistaking it for community. And with that, that's going to be it from me. I hope you learned something. If you would like to share any of the experiences that you may have come across in your years in Second Life based on these 7 social functions, you're more than welcome to share in the comments below. But for now, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.